Hey, welcome to Two Beers with the Band podcast. My name's Harkos. I edit everything around here, but I just wanted to welcome you to the part 2 episode of the interview with Horsehell. Now, if you haven't already tuned in to part 1, you need to make sure you stop this and go check that out first. Once you're done with that, come on back and check out part 2 right here with Horsehell only on Two Beers with the Band podcast. Enjoy.
As long as I accomplish the goal, which, to be honest with you, my goal is to learn about you guys as a band and to learn maybe something I didn't know about the industry and to drink beer and have fun. As long as I get that accomplished,
that's it, man.
I'll buy a fucking battery.
It's
know
working.
Exactly. I mean, hey, I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun.
Dude,
this is
100%.
sick. We're having a great time.
It is worth the price
Let's go all
of
night.
9-volt batteries. I mean, hey, if
I brought my own 9 volts. We're good.
Dude, yeah, I brought my own
For
batteries.
12 hours.
now if we can find some more beer, I'm.
Can we find more beer? You're looking at the professionals here. We always find more beer.
I got a beer guy.
I got a beer guy. Let me give him a call.
He deliver.
He delivers. I just
He
wrote
delivers.
that shit. Deliver.
Deliver.
Oh, that's funny as fuck.
Man, if we had someone like filming us just at random points during like tours and shit, we'd have some crazy fucking footage.
It would just be us saying the
Of
same
us
joke over
being
and over
so
again.
stupid. People would hate us.
Well, no. What if you
sober?
No.
what if
Stone
you
Cold
said the same joke over and over, but it was in a fresh situation, which made it new every time?
I guess.
That's kind
I
of...
mean, well, it's
I mean,
close
this
to what we
past
do.
run, we were just saying the word deliver like over and over again.
Hundreds of times.
That's some brain rot shit.
It
dude.
didn't make
Just
sense, but I think
deliver.
we're all going a little crazy in the car.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean,
you gotta
what?
find ways to entertain yourself.
You know how it goes.
What? yeah, but I mean, what if you get up on the mic and you introduce the band and you turn around and look at them and say, "We're gonna deliver." I mean, you know what I'm- boom! You have ended it because it doesn't get any bigger than that.
That's
I would
good.
start crying.
That's
So-
so good.
So at this
Deliver
point,
tonight, boys.
you have to move on to something else.
Yeah.
So
That's
hopefully
good.
Yeah.
you have delivered
Yeah.
Deliver.
Oh, we
some
deliver.
fantastic information to the fans.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Why
You're right.
not?
We need to start Deliver series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Deliver.
we're going out to breakfast and see the menu, and we're like, I think I'm gonna get deliver.
Waffle House delivers.
You should do it. Why not? I
Yeah.
mean, have fun. You can make shorts out of it.
Yeah.
What?
True.
All right. What about this word of the week? In your
And
first,
it's
Every
deliver
week,
every
deliver.
time.
and you find a way to work it in, or phrase of the week.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Blah blah blah. Deliver.
Deliver. Mr. Cheddar delivers.
Mr. Cheddar deliver.
Phrase of the week, Mr. Cheddar delivered. So you have to find a way for 7 days to work that into something.
That's
I like
good.
that.
I could change all the lyrics. Probably no one would notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one listens
Mr.
anyway.
Cheddar delivers.
Mr. Cheddar
I mean,
delivers.
The whole thing is like we keep making these like brain rot jokes, and me and Liam just look at each other like we turned 30 this year. Like, you gotta grow up at some point, but not
No.
today.
Not,
Not
today,
today.
bro.
It's
Not on the
it's
not
Horsehell
gonna be
run.
today.
No, we're gonna
No way.
deliver.
We gotta deliver.
Yeah, it's like start a Roth. Nah,
Start a Roth.
deliver.
The Roth deliver?
Does Rob deliver?
That should be your intro. Horsehell deliver.
I mean,
And
yeah.
we're doing those
I like
like
that.
audio things. We start it and it intros our first song. And it's just Horsehell deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
And
you
then
hear a
we
bunch of
boss it.
nays and
Yeah.
Whee!
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to you need
Coconuts like fucking Monty Python.
Yeah, we should do that.
to figure out a way to spell deliver.
Deliver.
And when you make your first poster for your show, that word
Put
needs to be
deliver.
on it.
Yeah. We'll
Taking
definitely
notes.
include that.
That
Yeah.
Horsehell Deliver tour featuring these bands.
First poster.
Deliver.
That's it right there.
There it is.
Deliver.
And it has to be written just like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you don't take that when you leave, I'm gonna keep it.
Dude,
so
please.
I mean, it's
And if we don't do that on our posters, you're allowed to kill us.
if you don't deliver,
If we don't deliver,
I'm allowed to
deliver us
exactly
straight to hell.
to the fishes. I can
Deliver you to
to
the fishes. That's some soprano shit. Yeah. We're going to deliver big pussy to the fishes.
Deliver the ducks.
Deliver the ducks.
His first Sopranos joke.
Man.
I can only make one joke because I've only seen season 1, episode 1.
Yeah. He nailed it though, man.
Do you
I
like
don't have
Sopranos? Have you seen
HBO.
Sopranos?
I don't watch TV.
Oh, really?
No,
Good for
I
you.
work 2 full-time jobs and I listen to music and drink craft beer.
Hell yeah, man.
That sounds
Hell
like
yes.
a
That's-
solid life.
That's a great
I
life.
do that.
Literally
I think-
all I do. And I like to drink craft beer and talk to people that make music. So
Hell
that's
yeah.
my third job.
Hell
That's
yeah.
pretty
So
sick.
I work 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Pretty sick.
I don't have time for TV to
Yeah,
deliver
man.
my entertainment.
I hear you.
Yeah, no, that's so real.
I mean,
Real.
that's the way it is, and that's the reason I started this podcast is because I want to learn about music and about the industry in Nashville and what it takes for bands to go from, a concept of, hey, I like the way you play that. Why don't you come play with me and let's call it a band because we have to.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys have to do everything from writing to promoting to calling venues to setting up shows. And I mean, you're artist / manager all at the same time. So what's it like to get together as a band and say, you know what? We have a set. I think we can play it. We need to put this out there
Yeah.
for the consumer.
Yeah.
What does it take to play a show?
Man, from the beginning of like getting into music and like trying to make it a thing that I've been doing, people have been telling me it takes persistence. And I've known that the whole time, but you don't realize it until you're sending your like 50th email to a venue and you're like, at this point, you're just begging. Like,
Please.
we'll play for 5 minutes and then leave and anyone else can play. Like, dude, just please. But like, it takes real persistence and you have to trudge through a lot of shit mentally. And like, I don't know, like it's really interesting. And maybe Nashville's like kind of an odd place for it because it's so present. But for that same reason, there are a lot of other obstacles that there aren't in other places. But like, I don't know, just persistence. It took an entire year. We started playing shows under a different name, like December of 2023. Is that when we played
I
Underdog?
have no idea.
I think it was 2023. What year is it now? 2025. Yeah, it's 2023. We like played our first show at Underdog. And we've been playing like relatively consistently since then. But it's just been a game of like throwing ourselves out and like in the meantime just like rehearsing and playing whatever show we can get and like talking about it and being excited about it consistently, to the point that like we're always trying something and then eventually something sticks. You play a show and it's great. You connect with like the guy who's running sound and then bam, that branches out into something, and then you connect with a band like 3 shows after that, and you're like, hey, let's do this again, and they really mean it, and you set up another show, and it just kind of like accumulates, I guess, ideally. And that's kind of what I've seen happening with us, because we've just like been consistently pushing into it and like trying to see how much more we can play and like trying to make it a thing that's more consistent. So it takes a lot of work. You have to like, you definitely need to put your best foot forward and like know what to say in these emails. And the faster you can kind of learn the lingo, I feel like part of it, the fake it till you make it thing is real in a funny way, where it's like you're gonna feel like a like a sham sometimes, because like I've set up shows before, like at the end this last summer, that was one of those shows, because Bruce he runs the whole thing over there, and
Bruce is the man.
you email him and you're like, yeah, we have a draw of like 30 people. There's like, nah. At that point in time, we're not going to bring 30 people to this show. Like, nobody cares about us.
Yeah.
Very hopeful estimate. And I don't know, you have to put your all into it. You have to be passionate about it, and you have to allow yourself the space and the time and the energy to be creative with it and have fun with it. And that's the whole thing with creativity, is like step very, very far away from the like cookie cutter, like things you see other people doing. You can take inspiration and all that, but like figure out your way to approach it and your way to have a good time with it, and like put that forward. Cause that's what's interesting. It's like, I don't know, we could do the same things as other bands that we've seen, but that would just be us copying someone. What is exciting, and I think what hopefully will bring people out one day, is like us and what we're kind of like trying to do. So I don't know, just being honest and persistent is kind of the one thing I've learned from all of it.
And don't be put off by rejection, because you're gonna get rejected
Oh yeah.
a million times.
Yeah.
And yeah, having a good attitude is such a big thing, because you know, if you're a band that's looking for someone to tour with you, to open for you, and you have the option of like, you know, say 6 different bands, and they're all like very professional, equally great musicians, great artists, but there's one band that you like know that you connect with, that are fun to be around, and are gonna have a good attitude and not just be complaining about shit or, you know, whatever. That makes so much of a difference, and people will choose the person that they know is going to be cool and fun
For sure.
to be around.
They deliver.
They deliver.
They deliver.
Yeah.
So, walk me through the process of booking your own show,
Yeah.
including 2 opening bands, and then you're the main act.
Sure.
You got to make
it's
sure
the main act.
you got to get the bands on whatever bill you book.
Oh
You
yeah.
put together
Yeah.
the bill.
Have
so-
something in mind beforehand, for sure, is the thing I've learned. Like, you basically don't reach out to anyone until you have the show, like the whole thing, and you can be like, hey, how's this date? Always look at the calendar and like see what they have available, and never assume anything. Just like hit them up and be like, hey, I see this date's open. Is anyone on hold? Like, if we have this show with this band and this band, what do you think of this date for this? And then having an EPK always helps, like just sending something concise that is like one click, and they have access to like, here's your music, here's any videos of you guys, here's photos, like whatever. Just access to like what you guys are up to and what you're doing is always huge.
Press kit. EP.
Yeah,
Press
yeah.
kit.
Press kit.
Do you guys have a press kit?
Yeah, I kind of, there's this website actually called Komi, like KOMI, I discovered it through my friend Abby Hamilton, who plays out of Lexington, Kentucky. I used to do tour managing for her. She's really sweet. But she used it first. I don't know where she found it. It's super cheap. It's like $10 a month. And it's like this really nice professional looking like link. So we have it or I have it in my Instagram bio. You just click it and it has a photo of us. You can add like your logo. And then like just links to music you've put out. You can add just photos. You can add like a contact form, which I put one at the bottom just for anyone inquiring about shows if they got that far. Just like you can link a video to it and they can watch it in that page. I kind of consider that like a kind of like modern version of an EPK. Like it doesn't have to be the super professional, like here's a thing with all these links. It's just like, here's a page. It like borders a website and an EPK. It kind of does everything. So
Yeah.
highly
Simple.
recommend.
Simple
Yeah, and
is a good
$10
way
a
to-
month it's pretty sick. It's cheap.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Where do you guys want to play in Nashville? What is?
The Ryman.
Oh, you know what?
Grand Ole
I mean,
Opry.
yeah. Grand Ole
Okay,
Opry.
no.
Would be sick.
No.
Let me in this
No.
room.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go with it. So I'm the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
You are calling me to play a show at the Grand Ole Opry.
Okay.
What are the steps you have to go through?
Gonna have to come up with a story, a bunch of lies to tell you.
Yeah. Well, there's no way. I mean, yeah, we would never play the Grand Ole Opry, but assuming there have been.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, we would if we had the opportunity.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that'd be more of
we
like.
just make it smell bad. You know? Like they'd be like, what the fuck?
Oh, it's tuna sandwich night at the Grand Ole Opry. Everybody pull up.
this fucking man brought a bunch of tuna salad
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Yeah,
They
they,
keep
I
throwing
mean,
them in the crowd.
No.
they didn't even have Tupperware. They just brought it in a napkin.
Mine's not even a sandwich, dude. It's just raw salmon. Just
No, why couldn't you play the Grand Ole Opry? What is holding you back?
That's a good question.
well, I think it's a genre thing with them because they're very much like country folk, like adjacent type people,
yeah, I feel like
which is cool.
if we were successful enough, the Ryman would be a better option.
For
Okay,
Just
okay.
because
Well,
they do have
Nah.
mo-
Nah.
I still
I
think
say
that'd be a
Bridgestone.
stretch.
Bridgestone. Yeah.
Bridgestone.
There we
I
go.
think my favorite venue in town that I would love to get to a point with that's like we can reach out to them and we have what's the word? Rapport.
Yeah.
We have the rapport with them to set something up consistently would be Dark Matter.
Yeah.
I love that place.
that is
I love Dark Man.
one of the best, if
We
not
were just
the
there
best
last night.
DIY
Yeah.
venues in Nashville, and they have
I think it is the best, honestly.
Yeah, they got weird tile floor, and I love it.
ceiling
Yeah.
is so low, it's crazy.
Feels- Yeah.
But they do such a good job of getting together like really cool artists and
Yeah.
people on tour, locals,
All
it's-
across the
they
board.
always knock it out of the park.
Yeah. They
And the
do a
sound
lot
is
for the
great.
community too. They like
Yeah.
they have like
very
weekly get-togethers. People can show up and like just chat. I don't know all the logistics of what they do, but
They do a lot
I was
of
looking at their
stuff,
calendar
yeah.
last night, and it was a shocking amount of stuff just on off days for shows. Like they're just still hosting the community of artists in town, like promoting a lot of like community and helping each other and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to book a show at Dark Matter with 2 bands opening for you,
Hmm.
how would you approach that entire process from start to finish?
I would start by choosing which bands I wanted to have play with us. I usually like to just take notes on things as I think of them, and they usually come together better that way for me. But I would reach out to those bands first before I hit the venue up, and I'd be like, hey, you guys interested in the show? And if they were like, yeah, I would look at the venue's calendar, see what's open, and be like, hey, what do you think about these dates? And once I had kind of a range, including like some backup dates, if the ones I hit them up about weren't available, then I would reach out to the venue, all of our press kits, like links to music, all of that. I'd be like, how's it going? We're with this band. Sometimes it helps not to mention that you're in the band. It's a weird thing. But like, even if you have a separate email account to make it seem like you're a booking agent or something, you reach out to them and you're like, hey, I see that you guys have this date open with your venue, and we have this show, including these acts. These are local. Maybe one of the bands isn't local or they're on tour or something, and you're like, here's everything that we're kind of like trying to put on, and we see this date's available. Can we set this up? And then send it. If they don't reply within like 5-7 days, I'll like send a follow-up and be like, hey, just want to make sure you saw this, and then see if they reply. And hopefully the dates you reached out about work, and if not, one of the backups. And if not, it'll be like, hey, we're open to whatever dates within this time range, so let us know. And then once you kind of confirm that with the venue, if they're like good at communicating back with you, then you kind of move on from there. So
if the venue hits you up and says, okay, this date will work, we're going to reserve this day for you and your show and the bands you bring. So now it's all on you.
yeah.
So what are the financial restraints on the band to put the show together? Because you're the one putting the show together.
Yeah.
They are offering you a stage, lights, and
Sound.
a sound person.
Yeah.
You're doing everything else.
Yeah.
So what does it cost you as a band to make this show happen?
Usually there's a production fee. In Nashville especially, that's really, really common. You pay a production fee to play the show, and then the idea is you make enough off of tickets or whatever that you go past that production fee. But that is most venues. I don't really know specifically about
I feel like it's
Matter,
50-50 with venues here.
but at least maybe not the Grand Ole Opry, but
We've only played the Grand Ole Opry a few times, and there was a production fee once, but not the other times. I feel like it's like 50-50. I have this I do this for my own sake, like as someone who's like constantly trying. Especially here, you have to book like 2-3 months in advance to keep things moving. So I have this Google sheet that's just like every venue I know about, including house shows and like smaller venues to larger venues, pretty much anything that we could actually play, and like how to contact them and like what the vibe is at that venue. And so I'll like look at that a lot of the times too, and kind of gauge where I'm reaching out to based on that, because there are some venues that require a production fee, which I think half the time is very fair, but because they're paying sound people. There's a whole nother part of this world of like music and live shows of people doing sound, doing lights, owning a business. It's
So
like, yeah, it takes money.
Totally.
I totally understand that. Don't neglect that. But there are other venues that are a bit more approachable as like someone starting from the bottom, where you can reach out and be like, here's our set, and they'll like let you come in. But I think really the main part of the pressure comes from like just promotion and like making sure you get people there. And that's where Nashville can be difficult, because like a lot of the people that we bring out to shows are also artists. It's not necessarily, at least in my experience, it's not the biggest city for like music enthusiasts as much as it is for like musicians and artists, especially in the communities and the people that see our promo and see our posters and shit, and they're like, hey, okay, we'll come to this. We're not working that day.
yeah, or we're not on tour,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
big thing.
So it's difficult in Nashville for a specific reason, but I think that's kind of where it becomes more difficult. And honestly, I don't know. I don't really have an answer to like what it takes to surpass that. It's really just like consistency still.
Yeah.
But like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's something we're still working out. So
Yeah.
A lot of the pressure comes in there, like getting people to the show and like making the experience worth it. It's like a lot of things accumulating to create a good show and like a good experience that people want to come to. So
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
choosing the bands on your bills, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily be the same genre, but
yeah,
something that you feel would work well with
Totally.
your music.
Is that easy in Nashville? Because
Yeah.
there are so many different genres, subgenres. And the reason I ask is because I've been to several shows that may have 3 to 4 bands on the bill. And there's one band that just didn't fit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the show. And it
It's cool that
actually
has the diversity.
made me a fan of said artist
Yeah.
or band. And I kind of did a deep dive. So now I go down the rabbit hole of a different genre that may encompass 2 to 3 to 4 other genres.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that artist and their music. And I'm now a fan. And is that something as a band that is looking to book maybe 2 other bands or 3 other bands, or just say, you know what, why don't we try to get 5 bands together and just do something weird and call it, 5 on Wednesday or something? And how do you pick and choose the bands you want to promote, because it's your show
Yeah.
and you're now promoting these bands, so
Yeah.
you have to take that into account.
Totally.
But financially, you're the one that is supporting the show.
yeah.
So how do you guys figure that out?
Yeah, I think it's nice. Like I was saying earlier, it's if you have a choice of different bands and like how do you choose genre and like style and compatibility with our style definitely plays into it. But also, we just want to book shows with friends, like people
Yeah.
that we like, bands
True.
that we like, or even if they're not our friends, people that we like and like know that they're good people.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you enjoy that more than, okay, at that point, are you putting the show on for the fans, or are you putting the show on for you?
I mean, there's always a little bit of an element of it's all for me. You know?
Absolutely.
It's all for us.
Absolutely.
We're all just out trying to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's
also
what
it's-
music is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
for
music
sure.
is. But that's also what people want to see. You know?
Yeah.
People want to see
Agreed.
somebody just being genuine, being true to themselves, and just having fun on stage. And also, if your music sucks, sorry, that's a that's a deal breaker right there.
For
But
sure.
like, there are so many bands that are so talented, so many great artists here in Nashville, that it's not terribly difficult to find someone that fits that criteria, and
Yeah.
also is going to be, not so different from us that the crowd is going to be like, what the hell,
Yeah.
Well,
True.
I know you spoke earlier about your bass player not being a permanent member of the band. How would you guys feel if you booked a show and someone in one of your other bands got sick and couldn't make the show, or what, whatever, couldn't be there.
Yeah.
And they ask you, or they said, look, our guitarist couldn't make it, and this is the reason why. So unless we find a guitarist, we're not going to be able to make the show. Could you step up and say, you know what, man, I'll jump in there and I'll do my set and I'll do your set?
Totally. I mean, that's something that, I think would be very specific to each individual situation.
Yeah.
Because I personally, if it's a band they're like, yeah, just do your thing, just like whatever, that could be fun. But also, I don't really like playing shows that I haven't rehearsed for.
Same.
And if I don't know the songs, I personally feel like I would be doing a disservice to the songs by trying to jump in on it. So it kind of that kind of definitely depends on the specific artist that's asking that, and also maybe how crazy I'm feeling that day.
Well, I think the reason I ask that is going back to community in Nashville.
Totally.
Do you feel if you knew the song, you knew the band, you had played with them several times, and it wasn't new to you, and their guitarist or their drummer or somebody just couldn't make it for whatever reason, they're like, hey, if you can step in, and we're not expecting perfection, but you can at least pull us through their part.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you feel that you have community enough where you could do that for them, or you could find another band that could do it for you?
Yeah, I mean,
I think so.
We had a guy jump on bass for a couple shows from another local band, Fossil Creek. He also has his own stuff called Peaceful.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was after we played a show that we had booked, and then realized that our bassist that we had played with in the past wasn't going to be able to make it, so we just played it without a bass player.
It was a 3-piece. Yeah.
And it was silly. It was really fun.
It was fun.
But
I was really drunk, and that was
Yeah,
one of I played so bad.
we kind of like before this set, we're like, let's just get drunk for this. Like, we don't
It was an
care.
outside like house show.
Yeah,
We were like,
it was
all
like
right.
whatever. And then he just approached us after the set and was like, hey, like, if you guys want someone to play bass with you guys, like, I'm be happy to hop on.
Yeah, totally.
So we rehearsed with him, and he played a few shows with us.
I think it's just something, the deeper you get into it, you meet people that you fuck with. And I mean, honestly, if there's an open spot, like if one of my friends in another band approached me and was like, hey, do you want to play this show with us? If I had the bandwidth to do it, I totally would. I think it'd be so fun. I love the crossover kind of stuff, because that's part of the community, is like blending and like doing things together. And like, I really want to do what's it called, a split. I want to start doing some splits with some people around town. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's just a nice way to like bring two fan bases together.
What's a split? What's a split?
Just like a if there's a tape or something, or a CD or a release, it's like half one band, half the other.
Totally.
Who?
Could be anyone, really.
No,
I really wanna do
you got people in mind.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and do this. He's going to be mad that I do this, but I want to do one with Caleb's band, because Caleb has a project called Mahal Kita.
Yeah.
And he just put out his first single a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or something, called Blurry. It's fucking sick. Definitely check it out. But I really want to do one with us together. I think it'd be fun. And I forget the name of it, but there's this tape spot in Nashville. I'd have to find it. I can't remember the name, but
Like
do you know?
Our Vinyl or whatever? Is it this place?
No, Our Vinyl is a different thing. They do like,
that's like a venue or whatever.
yeah, they do like the Audio Tree thing.
Yeah.
Because I got some buddies in Sewing Club who just
They're
did
sick,
that,
yeah.
which that'd be sick.
I can't
But
remember what place you're talking about.
I don't know. It's some other DIY spot, but they do like physical like cassettes, which nobody uses anymore.
Really? They do physical
Yeah.
cassettes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which are like making
pretty
a
sick.
comeback, but still nobody can listen to them.
Oh, come on,
As a
man.
cassette.
Come on, man. Vinyl's making a comeback. No,
Vinyl's already back.
Vinyl
Vinyl's
has
way
made
back.
a comeback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
Dude, I would love to make some vinyl. We've been working. We just finished in February at Bomb Shelter. We recorded a whole record from August to February, and I really want to do like a small vinyl pressing of it. And there are more and more places that are like local friendly that are like doing small runs of vinyls. There's one in Alabama or Mississippi that I follow on Instagram. I'll have to look them up too to remember what they're called, but they do like 100 to 300 runs. So I'm planning to do one of those for our record as soon as it is ready. But anyway, yeah.
so talk to me about house shows in Nashville.
Mm.
There are so many people, including me, that don't know what that is. So enlighten us, please.
Yeah.
Man, it took me a while. I don't know if I just was looking in the wrong places or what, but it took me like the entirety of the time I've been here to find these venues, like the house shows and stuff. There used to be a spot called Berkey House that
I'm sorry.
Bruh.
I'm sorry. Go on.
You guys are delivering. There used to be a spot called Berkey House. It was around. I've been compiling a list of house shows because I kind of all the house shows we've played have been like my favorite vibe because it's just nice. It's casual. You like get together with a bunch of people in a house and everyone's drunk and you're all just there to hang. Like it feels like a house party. But there are a lot of cool spots. Like Peach House is a newer one that used to be called, what was it called? I forget. They were around when I first moved here as a different name, and it was different people running it. But now it's called Peach House, and they're fucking awesome. I love the guys who run that. And then there's Ryman 2, which I have not played yet, but I love the name of it. And I think those are the two main ones that I know that I really want to play. But they're a handful, and I like house shows just for that reason. It's like it doesn't feel as much like a production as much as just like hanging out, which is nice, especially in our genre, I think.
So I'm coming to your next house show.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
All right.
Yeah.
Number one,
Oh, this is a hypothetical.
where is it? Number two,
Oh yeah.
when I get there, what should I expect? Number three, am I leaving or am I staying?
What was the first one?
Number one, where is it?
Oh, okay.
I'm not asking for a
Right.
physical address.
Sure.
I'm just hypothetical. Where is it?
Yeah.
What should I expect when I get there? And am I leaving or am I staying?
Yeah. I think some venues don't want to like post their address.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you post about the show,
Right.
usually
You just
it's-
got to guess where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
make
but
it fun.
I mean,
Roll down the
I'm
windows if you hear music, drive towards the music.
well,
Yeah.
I'm
usually.
like a super fan of the band, and
Yeah.
I want to hear you perform, and
Yeah.
I'm not sharing it with anybody.
Yeah.
And you hit me up on a personal text
Sure.
and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, we're doing this at this spot."
Personal text will
Show
just
up.
tell you the venue, the address.
Right.
Or,
So-
or if we post it, be like DM me for the address.
So I'm showing up at
Okay.
said spot. What should I expect? What is a house show?
BYOB, man.
BYOB.
Get
Bring
ready,
tons of it.
Get ready to really contemplate every decision you've ever made in your entire life. And then after the set, we'll all go drink beers on the porch.
Yeah.
That's the best part. You just drink, like, you show up and it's like I don't know. It's a lot more social than a show at a venue, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it's just way more relaxed. You show up and like you're in someone's house. You can sit on a couch and just like fucking slam 5 beers if you want. You can do whatever you
So a house show's a vibe.
Oh,
House
yeah.
shows
It's
Pretty sick.
It's not
Love
a
house shows.
performance. It's just a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sitting present with your homies.
Yeah,
How do
exactly.
How do you feel about that? Is
I
that
love it.
is that cool?
great. Yeah.
That's like my preferred kind of show, I think. Is just
House
to
shows
be,
are my favorite. Even
Yeah.
just like if I'm not playing, just going and seeing a band and you're just like hanging with everybody.
Yeah.
It's like I feel so much more communal and
Totally.
like there's not like a cap on the time
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
It's more of a unique experience too.
yeah,
And
it
I-
feels very authentic.
Yeah. And I
And
feel like
real.
you have a better chance of connecting with someone and meeting someone new
Yeah.
at a house show rather than a venue, just because of the atmosphere.
So if I come to a house show, how many different bands are gonna perform?
Kind of depends.
I feel like usually it's on the larger side. Like what was Peach House? We played with like
It's like
It was-
four bands.
four
including
bands.
us.
So I guess that was normal.
Um, there's my friend put on a festival
Yard
in his
Fest.
backyard, called it Yard Fest.
That was
Um,
sick.
Yard Fest, look it up.
Yard
It's
Fest
sick.
Fest.
It's gonna happen again sometime. Yard Fest Fest.
Eventually.
But so that was a really cool situation, very unique, where he really put on a festival in his backyard.
It was crazy.
Had a stage, there was lights, there was
Smash
full
burgers,
sound
man.
system. There was people there making food, making
Vendors.
like
It was crazy.
different stuff, and it was all just everybody was there just because they wanted to be a part of this cool thing. So everybody hung out in the backyard. You know, if there was a vendor, they'd be selling some random stuff. And that was a thing where music was going all day
Yeah.
for 3 days. And that was super cool, but that's definitely not as common. So I feel like for most house shows, I would say like 5 to 3 bands is
Yeah.
typical.
Yeah. It's great, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit.
And you're going to want to hang out.
The dustier the better, dude.
Yeah.
I want to be in a basement.
There's plenty of them.
There's plenty. There's
Lots
plenty.
of basements.
I will say I think house shows are the most like inclusive shows.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, it's just like
Yeah. You
just
show
come
up.
through and hang out
Totally.
and just have a good time.
Absolutely.
So is that a Nashville thing, or is that just an underground thing that
Yeah. I think it's just,
consumers don't know about?
yeah. I think
It's
it's
more
an
underground.
indie music, DIY music community thing. for
That's
sure.
like if you don't know someone who knows about it, you're not going to know about it at all, which is cool. It's like reserved for people who are local Like,
And
you're-
care.
Yeah.
and care about it. And
It's
like,
very word of mouth.
yeah,
Like you'll just hear about it. Just whispers in the wind.
Dude.
Whispers in the wind.
I was up in Louisville.
Dark.
No, no. What the fuck? I was up in Louisville lately. My dad moved up to Louisville eventually from Lexington, where I grew up, and I went to this like local record store, and I want this for Nashville so bad. And maybe it exists here. I don't think it does, but I would love for it to. It's like
Then create it.
well, man, I just got to find the right spot because it's like this is like deep underground DIY scene. They would be like,
Find you a spot.
let's fucking find a spot. I heard there are some tunnels around here. There's always tunnels somewhere.
Oh,
around.
underground.
You must deliver.
You must deliver.
You must deliver.
No, there's like
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's fucking great. It's like it was cool. I went to this record store and I saw this poster about a show, and it was like, show up to this other record store to find the first like point of I forget what the terminology that they used, but it was like basically the poster at this store was like, go to this other record store to find out about the location. And I saw it and I was like, that's so interesting. And I asked about it and they were like, yeah, it's like specifically a vibe thing. Like it's deep underground local shit. You show up to this other place and you ask about it. And if you seem like you're just some random dude who they don't fuck with, they'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But if they fuck with you and you're like part of the local scene and like DIY, they'll tell you another location and you go there and then they do it again. And if you make it past that, they'll give you the location for the show and then you show up to it. I just thought that was sick.
Yeah, that's
So,
so cool.
Do I have to knock at the door 3 times?
Yeah.
I think you just walk in.
No.
I mean, do I bring my own beer? Do I bring
Yeah, bring
food? Do
I
I
would say
bring
Bring your own beer.
people?
Always bring your own beer.
No matter
just,
where you
just
go.
to be safe, you know. Sometimes they'll have a thing where it's like they're giving out beer and it's like tip the bartender, you know.
Yeah.
So, but just
So
always
it's
err on the side of
A house show is pure community.
pure community.
Oh yeah.
Everybody is loving on each other, and it's just a vibe and fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's the epitome of like what I feel like a local music scene should be. It's cool.
Yeah.
You just
So-
show up and like meet people and enjoy art.
Does it energize you as a creative?
Yeah,
Totally.
for sure. Those are my favorite shows that we play every time. It's just like so much easier to connect with people and like you have a bit more control of like what you're doing. Like, I mean, you can go into a venue and be really fucking loud, but at a house show, you can just like, you can turn up all the way if you want. No one's going to stop you.
So what's the difference in a house show performance compared to a performance at your favorite local venue?
I think it's just like breaking down a boundary between performance and like, I don't know, community, like being present and like being approachable. 'Cause at the end of the day, a performance is a performance, but a house show is cool because you can just show up and you can meet people and they can come up and talk to you and there's like this boundary that's removed. And
What the fuck are y'all doing over there?
Oh, okay.
I mean, do I need to break out another pad?
they just keep passing me shit. I don't know. Fuck Buck. I don't know what that means. John Pork. Bruh.
It's Mr. John Pork.
All I have here is Yard Fest and Deliver. I haven't written anything else. Just the truth.
The truth. Deliver
Deliver.
the truth.
The truth.
All right, y'all. So while they're at intermission, I figured I'd come in here and let you know a little bit about myself. My name's Harkos. I not only edit this episode, but every single episode here on Two Beers of the Band podcast. And aside from that, I also have my own podcast called Music Making Sense Podcast, where it's all about music marketing, branding, and how to have success. Real success as an independent artist. Every single week I drop a brand new episode diving deep into specific trouble points that independent artists have when it comes to growing a real and sustainable fan base online. And I also give tips and tricks to help you as an independent artist grow a real sustainable fan base in a DIY fashion for as low cost as possible. And every single episode I dedicate to specific topics to give you detailed strategies in order to overcome all the struggles that you're having as an independent artist. So if you're an independent artist trying to grow a real sustainable fan base, or you happen to know somebody who's an independent artist who's struggling to try to grow and get a real fan base growing online, tell them to head over to musicmakingsensepod.com to find out all that is Music Making Sense Podcast. You'll find the links to the socials and the streaming platforms, and most importantly, you'll also find the link to the YouTube channel where you can find every single episode of Music Making Sense Podcast. But aside from that, you'll also be able to tune in every single Wednesday when I go live reviewing independent artist music from all around the world, all genres. Me and the people in the live chat, we will give our critique on the song, positive and negative. It's all constructive. And then after that, I'll go and do a deep dive into your social media platforms to see how you're using your social platforms and give tips and tricks on how you can use it the best. So if you're an independent artist and you want real DIY approaches on how to grow a real and sustainable fan base, make sure you go to musicmakingsensepod.com, find the link to the podcast episode platform that you prefer to listen to it on, and make sure you go check out the live stream exclusively on YouTube. And they're coming back. Make sure you check out musicmakingsensepod.com Wednesday night live stream and every single episode. I gotta get going. musicmakingsensepod.com. They're coming back. I gotta go. See y'all.
Yeah, we can.
God, I hate drinking beer with you guys. It's like pulling teeth to get you to talk. Fuck. I have not had any fun,
Dude, none
at all.
Yeah,
None
we
at
can't.
all.
You can't.
Jeez, don't ever come back.
Dude, never again.
You did not
Maybe.
deliver.
We did
the
not deliver.
content.
Damn it.
We never do. We never do.
We never deliver.
Stop showing me these pictures, man. Do you see what I drew you?
Yeah. You see how I drew you?
I did. I look like a crazy baby.
Yeah.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
Don't make him bleed.
Make him bleed. Dude, I almost cut my thumb off a couple months ago.
That's true.
What?
Let's talk about that.
I almost cut my thumb off.
How the fuck did you do that?
Well, it's going to sound stupid, and I know it is now, but I was opening up a zip tie. It was a big zip tie. It was like that thick, like double the size of a normal zip tie with a buck knife.
Not
It was about that long.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, you're cutting an existing zip tie
An exit.
that is currently working, doing
Oh.
something.
No, it's gone now. I cut it.
Yeah, but I'm saying the zip tie was
At the time.
actually
Oh,
in the
yes,
process
yes.
of working.
Yeah.
And you whip
Yes.
out a buck
It was
knife.
fulfilling its destiny, and I was like, "Fuck it!" I brought out a buck knife about that big.
You know they make smaller knives, pocket.
Yeah.
what
Okay.
I'm
telling
we
you.
were in
In
the,
fact,
That's what
I have-
We should write that down.
I have one on me currently. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
have at least 40 or 50 at the house that are
anything would have worked
got
better.
smaller blades that won't cut fingers off.
I learned a very important lesson this day about smaller knives. Yeah. Okay. Well, we wrote that down. We're gonna.
All right.
I can get you a smaller knife. I know a guy.
Hell yeah.
I learned a
He's
lesson.
got a
Man.
guy.
I learned a lesson for sure. I had never accidentally almost cut off an appendage, but then I did, and wow, the world changes right around you, man.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to play guitar minus one finger.
It is.
We had
True.
during that week when he cut his finger halfway off, we had the studio for the
Days
second
before
half
the
of our
studio.
run.
Of
so
course.
true.
I
I
mean,
forgot.
of course it would happen.
Man,
Yeah.
I was so mad at myself, and
I was
but
pretty mad at you too.
bruh,
I didn't really
it
care.
worked out. Well, I play a lot of those chords where I like wrap my thumb up around the top of the neck and like press down on the E string, which I had to work around for the second half of the record, which was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. So it worked out for that reason, but I was definitely nervous that I completely fucked it. So we had planned it like months in advance, and then I like sliced it. I cut one of the, what's it called, nerves. There's two nerve endings in your thumb, one on this side, one on that side, and I cut one, so this half of my thumb is numb. Crazy.
Even today.
Even today, yeah.
How's that affect your playing?
Not a ton. It was crazy at first because like even just tuning the guitar or like playing those chords was weird, but it was mostly just like recovery stuff, which took like a month, and now I'm like, I can function normally. My thumb's just a little fucked up looking.
But you didn't go to guitar rehab.
No. I did. I know someone, her name's Noelle Austin. My roommate I lived with before Caleb, actually. She works at Star Therapy, if you know where that is, off Gallatin. And so she hooked me up big time, and I went and saw her, and she like walked me through, because I was like legitimately freaking out. I was like, we booked the studio and I just fucked it. So I met up with her and she helped me figure it out. But yeah, anyway, that's the story.
Do you feel that in Nashville we should probably have some sort of trauma/rehab for musicians? Physically.
I think so. Well, that's one thing that Star does really well. And I think all of February they were doing like this promotional thing where, or at least I saw posters of it, but they were allowing artists to come in for a free consultation about like, longevity with how they're playing, like posture and everything. Because a lot of people just don't learn that, and it can be
really
detrimental. Yeah. It takes a lot of effort. I personally have the worst posture ever in the world. So I have to focus really hard. Very recently, actually, I used to wear my guitar way up here because I was like, oh, I need to like be able to see and like have it close to me to play it right. And very recently, I like lowered it a lot. And it just works better for this arm. It's not like this all the time. It's more like down and extended, which helps your wrist. It's dumb. There are a lot of weird details to it, but they're really helpful to know.
No, it's not dumb because every industry that requires manual labor, especially continuous manual labor,
yeah,
if you do this for so long, there are going to be problems.
Yeah.
So if there is someone or a company that can say, you know what, we see what you're doing and we know what it's going to turn into, let's adjust that.
Yeah.
Professional sports. I mean, there are people
There's a
who
whole-
make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing that.
Yeah.
Teaching these athletes to do something differently, properly, for longevity.
There's like a name for it, because I listened to a podcast about it one time, and it's like a leading form of science. Like they're consistently, I don't know actually if it's a physical thing. I might be making this up. It was so long ago I listened to it.
Like
It was really
sports
interesting
therapy or
though.
something?
Well,
Sports
Yeah.
medicine.
Yeah, sports medicine. It's like
I gotta do. Try it again. I have a degree in sports medicine.
Oh no!
Oh, no
yes,
way.
really,
That's
I do.
awesome.
I was listening to a podcast with somebody who did sports medicine. They were just like, man, well, I'm forgetting the details of it now, but it was like they're way ahead of the game, and I think it was like mental therapy. There were a lot of connections they were making about like keeping your body happy and like your brain happy and stuff. I don't know. I don't remember enough details to make any sense with what I'm saying, but it was really cool. It was an interesting little line to be drawn between the two.
Proper technique for any physical exertion
Yeah.
is key.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've learned just in running/walking is unreal. And how many people who are, I've ran this many marathons, so on and so forth. I'm a professional runner. You can't tell me. Your technique is so bad, and
Yeah.
it's literally counter to what you want to do. If you would straighten up your technique, you would be 2 times faster,
Yeah.
just based simply on arm swing.
It's so
Your
weird.
technique. And I'm sorry, you're a professional, so you go out there and do what works for you, but I could help you increase your speed.
Yeah.
But you go do you. I'm going to be over here if you need me.
Yeah.
That
It's wild, man.
it's crazy the way things work, but I've never really thought about professional musicians, people who have spent so many years creating music, and you sit at the drums a certain way, and the drums are a certain height, and everything is done a certain way. what kind of toll that takes on your body.
Not
Yeah.
to
And
mention tinnitus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Too.
Which
And sitting in a van for 9
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
and people don't think about that, except for the people who are living it.
Yeah.
So is your art worth the pain?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I am glad that we're living in a time when, people have done it long enough that we can learn from others, and something as simple as adjusting your posture every now and then could do a lot for you. Or I have a friend who, I can reach out to someone they know to talk about, how you're holding your wrist to avoid getting carpal tunnel.
Mhm.
I'm glad to live in a time like that.
If we got our asses beat every time we played a show, I'd still want to play.
We basically do. Yeah. We basically
It happens
do.
a lot.
Like,
but
dude, that set was so bad. We're going to
Yeah.
kick your ass.
So
I do that to them sometimes.
what is it like physically for you guys to go out and play a full set at 100% of your energy? You are giving everything you have to that set. What is it like for you physically?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I
You
haven't.
definitely get your heart rate up and
Yeah.
I
Like-
feel like we've had like the opportunity to go 100.
Let me
Yeah,
ask
we're
the
setting
drummer.
100 for
Let me ask the drummer. What is it like
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
to play a full set at 110%?
I honestly don't feel like I've ever played any set like at like 100%. Just like I feel really like the Horsehell sets are very like energetic, and like we give it everything we got, but there is like always this element of like restraint for like playing to whatever room we're in. Because like if it's a smaller venue or like a house show, you can't, like as a drummer, you can't just be bashing. Like
Yeah.
you can to a limit, but it's also like I don't want to pull away from like the song. Like I want people to hear the song
yeah, there's a
as
sweet spot.
as a cohesive piece, not just like fucking cymbals and just drums. Like they didn't pay any money or like bring their own beer to like or struggle to find
Hear
parking
drums.
to like hear me play drums as hard as I could.
In someone's living room, and that's all you can hear. Yeah.
But yeah, like dynamically, I don't feel like it's been 100, but like, in every other aspect, I feel like we've hit those sets where it's just been like, oh, that felt really good. That felt really cohesive, and the energy was there, even though we had to pull back. Amps had to be lower than what we'd want them to be. Drums had to be restrained a little bit, but like I still try to keep the energy in it, which can be a challenge depending on the venue. But I don't know if any of that makes sense. But
I agree.
it's a weird thing to try to put into words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does. And I'm curious if you were playing a huge venue where you could turn it up as loud as possible.
Hmm.
And then the sound engineer is like, is that it?
Damn.
Rude.
What would you do if you're maxed out and someone says, is that it? Could you step it up?
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably hire a different front of house.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
No,
especially for drums, it's like there's a point where you hit it hard enough, you're just gonna break everything. that
Yeah,
you have
everything's
in your kit.
choking. I mean, I feel like a lot of drummers' dreams is just like to be especially in any like form of alternative music, like is to like just to beat the shit out of everything, because there's something satisfying. Like I always take it so delicately, because it's like I've saved up all this money over the years and accumulated like all this like gear that I really love, and I hold it like it's like my baby, like buying cymbals. You're like, oh, this is like my prized possession. This is like the most expensive item I own. And so I treat it as such. But then like to be like, oh, like there's no ceiling here. Like I can just like wail on this fucker for like half an hour, and like that's satisfying.
Yeah,
Like just
totally.
It was good
like
shit.
listening to the rest of the band and being like, okay, let me keep this driving energy behind it and just like turn the drums like inside out. Like that would, I'd absolutely break everything I own if we could play one set where we could just be just this giant wall pushing into the rest of
I'd
the table there.
blow an amp head for sure.
For sure.
Like I'd happily
Throw my
buy a new
guitar
set of
like an
cymbals. Go over there.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. I would just move around more, I think. I like the bigger the stage, the more I can like move. And I love moving around when I can. So I think that's most of what would change for me.
So I put you on the Ryman stage and I hand you an instrument and say, it's yours. Do with it what you will.
A brand new instrument.
Yeah, sure.
Hell yeah.
If
Smash
I
it
mean,
immediately.
yeah. If
And your entire drum kit is provided for you. And I say, do with it what you will. The only thing I ask is that everyone sitting out here in the seat gets 110% of you.
I would definitely smash my shit for sure.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I could never do that.
If
now.
someone was like, yeah, break this.
Well, I'm not saying break.
Well, I
it.
know.
I'm just saying
Okay.
If someone
if it,
gets
it
it,
if
I would
it
do
take
that.
if
Oh,
it
yeah.
takes you breaking it to give this guy way the hell back here
Mm,
the
okay.
best show he has ever seen,
Yeah.
and his wife the best show she has ever seen. If it takes breaking it, do it, and I'll give you another one.
Yeah. I mean, I would just, I don't think my guitar playing, I mean, I think the worst thing that happens is I break a string if I'm giving my 110%, because
Okay.
it's not meant to be beaten on like that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's,
Makes sense.
there's a quality in sound that you get from hitting it hard or fast, or like, doing it with a pick or finger picking, and all of those have value at different parts in the songs. So it's like, it just depends on what dynamic I'm trying to get to support this song.
Mhm.
Depends on how hard I play it or how loud. And there's also a certain point where it's like, these are just strings, like you got to turn the amp up if you want the guy in the back to hear it really well.
I do feel like with Horsehell's music, like, I mean, this is just my opinion. None of us have ever talked about it, but it's just like, yeah, guitars, when it comes to anything shoegaze adjacent, like other than vocals, like guitars are like the most driving point in the song.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want dialed. So all that dynamic needs to be there. So if it's supposed to be a delicate, like softer part, like you got to play that live, and like then you can like really lean into it with guitars if those sections call for it. But drums, it's like, it's a little bit different. Like you really have to think about like the room. Like you can't rely on the sound guy to do it for you,
Right.
to bring the energy for you. You
Right.
have to like, it's like, okay, this room's really small. You have to pull back a little bit, or else you're going to get in the way of everybody else. But if you're playing in a really spaced out room, it's like, okay, you can deliver. Like that means you have to like beat the shit out of everything. And I've had like, I remember growing up and playing in different bands back in Jacksonville before Horsehell, and I'd have sound guys be like, you need to hit a little bit harder, like even in the soft parts of a song, like you gotta like really lean into it. And it's like, I'm a small guy, so it's just like I got limited output, but like with Horsehell stuff, I feel like even smaller venues, it's like I have to push past what I think I should be playing. Like I have to be louder than what I think, because it's supposed to be abrasive and you're supposed to feel it.
Yeah, I feel the same way about my amp levels.
Do you feel like you deliver?
Sometimes.
He always delivers.
He always delivers. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
Yeah. It's kind of deliver. It's deliver with no tip.
He always.
All right, guys. So I need to deliver 2 questions. What are 2 questions that you've never been asked as a band that you wish someone would ask you? And what are the answers to those questions?
That's a good question, man. I've been thinking about it the whole show, and honestly, I'm not sure.
Man, how many grams do your hi-hats weigh?
It's like, what is that pedal?
Hey man, is that a 61 Strat?
What patch cables do you use?
What patch cable? I wouldn't be able to answer, dude. I don't know.
That's a hard question, though.
That is a hard question.
It is.
Honestly, I don't know if I have 2. I've been thinking about it since you asked us, like, what we're like aiming for. Honestly, I had not thought about that at all since I think a couple years ago when I was working on a different project. I've just changed my mind so much. It's a fascinating question to me because it really made me think. So I mean, I know you already asked, but that might be one of them. So I think if people kept asking me that, I would really, like, the answer would change quite a bit. I feel like there's so much like evolving that comes with it as a person and like as an artist that I'm grappling with every day, whether or not I am vocalizing it. Just like, what am I trying to do with it? And like, what does it mean to me? I think would be an interesting question. And I think it would change all the time. So I don't know. I don't have a specific answer. But right now it means a lot to me though. It means everything to me, honestly. It's like, that's what I'm thinking about when I wake up and when I go to bed. So it just means the world to me when people care about that. And other than that, honestly, I don't know.
Well, that is your answer.
Yeah,
It means the world to you when people care about what you're doing. So
Yeah.
that was your answer.
I guess so. Yeah. And I mean, the lack of the question, I think, is a bit of a defense mechanism that I've built up just to like let myself create the art and appreciate it and grow with it and keep making it without any disruptions. So
Okay.
I don't know. That's just where my head went.
Just my 2 questions. Man, I would just be stoked if someone talked to me, you know?
I've been talking to you.
We don't talk to him though. This is the first conversation he's
This
had.
is
in
the
months.
best time I've had in my whole life here. No, you know, I think I like it when people talk to me about influences, and when people talk about, I guess, the like philosophy of the way I write parts, because that's something that I think about, like just my approach to what I choose to play, and yeah.
That's real. I
Yeah.
wish people would talk to me about animes.
Yeah.
That's what I really love doing in my free time. Just watching animes. I love when people talk to me about it. I'm
Okay.
fucking stoked every time, dude.
All right. All right.
All right. Your turn.
Do you have anything?
Oh. I don't know. At the the last show we played up in Cincinnati, like, you were there when this guy came up, and
Oh, yeah.
like, I'm kind of a drum nerd. Like, I work at a drum shop in town, and so I put a lot of time in just like knowing about gear and shit that nobody else cares about unless they're a drummer. But like some guy came up to me, he was like, "Great set. Like, I'm just curious, like what cymbals like you're playing." And he's like, "I know they're Istanbul Agap, and I saw you setting them up, like, so I knew he was like serious." And I was like, honestly, that's sick, because like I like, if you thought the set was good, like fantastic, that's so great if you enjoyed it. But when people like care enough to know about,
Yeah.
you know, why I chose this for this genre
Totally.
and everything, I was just like, oh wow, cool, these cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, you
It's
know,
all
the fact
coming
that
back.
the fact that you're calling out, like, you know, it's like it was like the second song you did or whatever, and like, you know, these like hi-hats here sounded really cool. It's like, to me personally, that I was just like, oh man, you were like intentionally listening.
Yeah.
So even if it's not about gear, if somebody's intentionally listening and asking questions regarding a certain song or
Details,
like
yeah.
something about the live set or about the record, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like you've already gone in deep about this. Like
Totally.
you really care about this shit, and I think that's cool.
That is cool.
So any question regarding like something that's not topical, I'm like, okay, cool.
That is nice.
Not like, you know, what was your stretch routine before this set? It's like absolutely nothing.
I sat in a van for 5 hours.
yeah, it's a negative stretching.
I opened the door
Yeah.
and stepped out,
Yeah.
and I became this guy.
It was crazy.
Essentially what it was.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So if anyone wants to find your music or find anything about you personally or as a band, where do they need to go?
Honestly, just I think the only place we really post about, we all post about it on our personal accounts, and my personal account is like the kind of the hub for it. It's Maxfield Punk. I came up with that in a name generator in middle school, and it just stuck. Maybe eventually it'll change to actually be Horsehell or something. But right now that's just the hub for everything. Posting about shows and like, I don't know, just photos of us playing live, and anything we're excited about is there. So that's basically it. I don't know. I'm trying always to find other places that we can kind of promote ourselves and in a way that feels cool. So
And we're on Spotify, Tidal,
yeah,
Apple.
yeah, all of that.
Yeah, Roku. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roku
Cool.
City. We're playing Roku City next year. But yeah, that's the main spot. If I find other places, that's where I'll be posting about it from.
We've talked
So-
about creating an email list that you can sign
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
at
it's old
shows.
school.
Be old school. Not that old school. Old school now.
I
Yeah.
really
List.
think you need to drill down on that. I really, really do.
Heard.
You need to.
Yeah.
So
On the email list or just being present?
both.
No,
Yeah.
Why
that's
not?
fair.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
you have to promote yourself because no one else is going to.
So
Very
true, man.
Nobody else is.
I mean, how much work do you put into being a band?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much work do you put into promoting being a band?
Some. It's a weird thing because it's like I'm not underselling myself, but I do try to make a point of only promoting myself in ways that feel not weird and like promotion-y.
Well, you're a
So-
creative. You're
Yeah.
all creatives. And the business part, promotional part of the band doesn't feel natural
Yeah.
because you're creatives. And you feel like you're underselling your art if you over promote or promote the band.
Right.
I understand that. But you know what? That's the way things work now.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if if you can't do it or don't want to do it, there are people out there who can.
For sure. Yeah.
So maybe you need to reach out to them, or you know what? Maybe just step up your game. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Maybe a little of both. Because guess what?
Yeah.
This guy suffers from the same problem.
So
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. We've run out of beer, which apparently is a problem.
Always a problem.
This will not happen next time.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. This is the end of my conversation with Horsehell, a Nashville-based indie artist. And we'll see you next time on Two Beers with the Band.
Hell yeah. Thank
All
you
right.
for having us, man.
Appreciate it.